Alright, hello and welcome everyone to another Left 4 Dead 2 shoutcast going on here. We have probably one of the final matches for round 3 of CCT3 going on right here. It's Latin Comas against Xception, and it looks like the teams are just about ready to go, so this might be a bit of a brief intro once our caster ready is up here. But we do have Latin Comas. I believe they're starting out on Infected right here, and Xception on Survivor. So for Xception we've got Ryan, Kyo, Suki, and I guess that's Julie. I think that's a Smurf name, but the survivors are heading out. Nice pull opening up right here. Hunter looking for the intercept. He does manage to land it. Spit not quite ticking onto Ryan. Actually, I think he did get a bunch of ticks in there. And wow, that looked like a pretty solid opening hit from the infected team from Latin Comas. And this match is being played, I think both of these teams are South American, but it is being played on a US Dallas server. So some very high pings all around, but it should be a pretty even playing field. And yeah, now we have Xception pushing up through that second choke of the map. I did the tank spawn and witch spawn are both quite late, but we have another hit coming in. Boom, landing on one. SI slowly working their way in. Tons of comments surrounding these survivors. Nice double cap landing. One more cap. That's a momentary tri-cap right there. And that smoker pull is still going. A pretty good amount of damage on these hits. That's 2 hits so far, and we've got 2 survivors down into slow range. So wow, Latin Comas really managing to do a lot with their SI by this point. And yeah, however, with that late tank, you know, as long as Team Xception can match some of that damage, this might not be a very score-making map. We'll have to see. The event has now been started, and we're waiting for the last spawns to come up for Latin Comas. Here comes the Boomer going in for a nice rocket. Only gets one, though. And this 2-2 attack, wow, Hunter getting skeeted by Kyo right there. Very nice, easy skeet. And so that should be, I mean, that was a pretty well-handled attack. I imagine they might get one more attack in before this event ends, and we'll have to wait and see. Oh, and we have pauses already. Damn, this looked like it was going to be such a fast game. And there goes the first pause. Is that legal, they're asking? I wonder what's going on. Maybe somebody's on top of something. Oh no, they just lost a player on the infected team. He went up to spec. I guess they were asking if the specking up is legal. He was either losing his spawn or he didn't want to play tank. I think it wasn't the tank one though. But yeah, anyway, teams have decided to just keep on going regardless of the spectating shenanigans. And we should have another hit coming quite soon. Boom, going in for another rocket. Oh, the M2s, great coordination by those survivors there. But a charge does land for just the initial 10 damage it looks like, and a pounce going in. A few more ticks as well. These survivors are probably going to want to start rushing though. They're down to their last 2 sets of pills. And this tank is not going to be very friendly for them. I don't know if I've seen a tank this late in the map that people, you know, actually decided to run back and take normally. I mean, in an 80% tank here, I think most teams kind of end up thinking they need to go for distance by that point. So this could be interesting. You know, this team's going to have to pull out some quick strategy to try to deal with this sort of uncommon tank spawn. Nice boom landing in the front. SI piling up on Francis. Oh my gosh, that jockey almost getting the separation he needs. But a lot of damage is ticking in regardless. Wow, all of the survivors, half of the survivors, 3 of the survivors are below the 2 punch range right now it looks like. Or they're very close to it, so I can't imagine this being a very successful tank fight for the survivors. Once again, these late tanks just gonna do some real work. We'll have to see. The witch is coming up soon, and we do have some spawns for the Latin Comas right now. And it kind of looks like they want to play on this. That hunter is sneaking around, trying to find a spawn next to that witch. A 2-2 setup though. There goes the boom, managing to get one. The rest of the SI though, not quite sure they want to spring this. Here comes the charger. They do have the spit. Maybe they'll just send charge spit in here. Nice triple charge from Latin Comas. That's going to be a lot of damage, and the hunter goes in as well, just to make sure Zoe takes a few extra ticks of that spit. But no, the God Frame's not working out for him. The spit not quite going to in-cap Zoe there. Man, maybe that hunter should have saved the witch. But anyway, Bill going for the crown and going to take it easily. That is, I guess that's Fikes. That's what he changed his names to. But yeah, survivors, they have 2 survivors fast at least. So maybe if they manage to juke around this tank, they can go for some distance. But the tank's kind of coming down on him through a thin hallway right there. First end cap going in with that huge spit. And it looks like this is pretty much going to be the wipe. Zoe trying to get a jump past the tank, but there's the end cap. And just got to finish off Bill right here. Ooh, whiffing a punch. Bill fighting for his life, and it is over. Wow, that's such a devastating tank spawn, I'd have to say, though. Like, there's so much. I mean, you'd have to shut down almost everything from the first half of the map to be able to survive against that in that dark, close quarters area. I really like the use of the spit, though. I have to think that that helped them secure the tank wipe a little bit there. You know, it was almost a free in cap onto Francis by putting a spit in there behind the survivors as that tank spawned up.
Reloading.
But yeah, getting ready for the second round here. Latin Comas on Survivor. Team Xception on Infected. I don't think I introduced Team Latin Comas. So for their Survivor round, we've got Noon. Oh my gosh, all of these are like... No, some of these are their normal names. We've got Zerio on Bill. Mercenario on Zoe. A bunch of dashes on Lewis. That's... I'm not quite sure who that is. And Nunes, which is their team captain, picking up Francis there at the end. So yeah, second round. We'll see if Team Xception can match the infected performance we saw in that first half. There was so many good caps and spits landing on hits repeatedly. I feel like there was only 1 or 2 attacks that really got shut down in any sort of a definitive way by Team Xception. So it's I'd have to say that might be a tough performance to match from the infected side. But of course that Link tank will probably make it all moot anyway. So round is now live. Let's see these survivors head out. Ooh, pouncing around, making some noise. These survivors plenty content to just bait out, get some common here. It's not much left for him to shoot though. Time to make a move. Nice pull. This separation. Survivors not leaving the safe room with him. A double boom and the pounce right there, and that boomer is getting scratches on top of all that spit. Wow, I think that was actually, the damage spread a lot more than on the first hit of last round, but that was a more damaging hit than Team Latin Comas pulled off for their opener. So yeah, very even spread across these survivors going down. And here they are heading up to the bridge choke. I feel like the survivors are moving a little bit slowly right here, but the SI timers not quite getting their spawns yet. I imagine they'll try to get a hit before they start the event though. And this boomer is sneaking around. Oh, here comes the cappers spawning up. All of them sort of funneling from the back, but the quad boom lands. That is a barf bag. Multi-caps landing, a stumble from the hunter, just missing the tri-cap. But still, there's so many commons flying around. That smoker tongue. We've got 2 survivors down under 30 health already.
Weapons over here.
Yeah, I kind of have to wonder, I mean, with all these players playing on such high pings, it seems like we're probably going to keep seeing more of that. Like a bunch of SI landing. Nobody here has the advantage of a low ping to help out their survivor play. But the event has been started. Spawns, we've got 4 spawns up again. A 2-2 this time. Charger Jockey. And the survivor's looking incredibly spread out. Though I have to say, I can't complain too much about their positioning. It looks nice. 1 boom. Jockey does land. Charger starting to jump in. Going for a long Misty, and he gets a double off of it. Oh my gosh. Bill is going to be probably in-capped by that spit there. Oh wow, no, the spit just ends. But what a huge charge that came off of that 2-2 attack. So yeah, it looks like neither team likely to be making the map here. This is going to be another tank wipe, I assume, unless Team Xception manages to pull out a wipe earlier than that. And if they keep up the hits the way they have been, they might be able to stop him in the next 100 points or so. And pull back, gonna miss. These SI extremely out of position here. But they are moving it forward. Nice double boom gonna land there. Ooh, stumbles going out. A nice 2-cap for just a moment, and the Smoker's still looking for a target though. A bit more chip off of that hit, and that's gonna put 3 of these survivors into the slow range basically. Zergio just needs to tick down a little bit more. And Francis is rushing up front. Nunes wants to go for that witch. He can probably get it as long as he doesn't get commoned. No spawns up to contest. Oh, Charger spawning up though. Just gonna scare him off at this point. Not gonna commit to anything. And another 2-2 setup it is. These close quarters though, a spitter is all you need to finish off survivors that are this low. And they are leaving that sort of confined area. Heading up to surround the witch. Boomer getting the 1 boom onto Francis. He's dangerously close to that witch with all these commons around, and a charge spit being deployed on him. Seems like a bit of overkill. But, you know, there's going to be a tank up ahead anyway. That hunter is still pouncing around. I guess he's waiting, sitting on the witch. Man, this is such a precarious position for the survivors. I bet they can't even see the hunter at all. It's so dark in there. Respit, gonna get an in-cap onto Lewis. The witch takes down Francis. And the hunter pouncing Bill on the inside. Bill does get cleared, as does the witch. So it looks like we won't see the wipe quite here. A few ticks from the jockey and Smoker attempting that 2-cap. But the ground cover is just too strong. Not going to be getting the 2-cap there.
Thanks, man.
So here comes that final push. Deciding to in-cap Bill there to give him some extra speed. They're going to take the boom off of it though. As long as these survivors manage to push up towards the tank though, they're going to be getting those full points. Oh, but the spit block denying them the extra distance they could have had. That is a next level spit block play. And Bill is down, just 2 survivors left. Francis got killed somehow. I must have missed it. But I think this tank is going to have no problem finishing this off. Mercenario, maybe he can juke around here. Oh, he's just going to get punched though and be slow. And there's the end cap. So, wow, and they didn't even get the witch kill. So that is quite unfortunate. They are, I mean, it's only 50 points. But it's the first 50-point difference of the game, and it goes in the way of Team Xception here. So congratulations to them. Very, very even round from both teams, I'd have to say, though. It seemed like both teams were sort of getting a lot of infected damage off very quickly. So we will be going into map 2 here. We'll see Team Xception on Survivor first. Now, I have played against, I feel like I've played against both of these teams before, and they're a bunch of nice guys. I've definitely played against Team Xception. Very fun to play against. Latin Comas, I don't know if I've seen. I think both of these teams had some pretty tough matches earlier in the tournament. I'm looking at the records, and Latin Comas went up against Wolfpack and Salmon Catchers in their first 2 rounds. So this is an 0-2 match, but that looks like a pretty tough set of opening rounds for Latin Comas there. So I'd say pretty understandable. And we do have some of Latin Comas disappearing here in Nunes, timing out for a moment. This opening hit though, looks like we've got a 2-2 setup. I'm not going to find out yet what that last SI is. But they do have a hunter here. And I have seen some very interesting opening hits on this safe room. When Spit's available, a lot of teams have been opting to hit on the inside. And we do have a jockey for the last capper, so no charger there to really make that Spit super effective. But there is definitely some potential here. And I mean, if the alternative is hitting on the outside with a hunter and a jockey, I could see it going either way, honestly. So we'll have to see what Team Latin Comas is going to pick to do with their SI here. And yeah, I see that jockey setting up on the little shelving there, the shelving units. SI are looking around for some spawns to use on this open and hit. It looks like they're stratting it out right now, trying to decide what they're going to go for. And yeah, it looks like they're going to use that second room. Let's take a look how Team Xception handles this opening hit on Survivor. Gotta climb up the ladder first. And a Boomer gonna get popped by Fix right there. Hunter pouncing in, gonna get shut down as well. And the Spit goes in with the jockey separation, and he will slowly start taking him down that ladder. Oh, but he does get cleared through the wall. Oh man, that ladder is such a troll. You could have such excellent separation there, but it's still a huge amount of damage. There's 72 damage on the board, and that's gotta be all from the Spitter. Pretty amazing Spit going out. And of course the 27 from the jockey as well. And spawns are coming up again, so it looks like they'll have another nice hit. Have some time to get set up on top of these survivors and go for a hit while they're in these little sewer alleys. Looks like the Boomer wants to open this up. Does get a nice 2-boom. Oh, the Spitter's gonna get picked off in the back though. Wow, but the pre-spit just before he gets killed lands on top of this 2-cap. That is a lot of damage going out onto Ryan. These hits doing so much to the survivor teams. And the Boomer has managed to stay alive and run away. I don't really know how he did that. I guess he was planning it from the start. But yeah, this is going to be a mid-map tank at 53%. So actually, it's not going to be too long, maybe 1 or 2 more SI hits before that spawns, and the survivors are still in okay shape to survive it. Nice double boom off of that Boomer once again. Here comes in the cappers. 1 cap, 2 cap, 3 cap lands, and Zoe struggling to find Francis with that jockey on him, and the jockey does escape. Looks like the hit has mostly been cleared though, but wow, that's basically another set of pills gone off of that hit. And a good escape by the smoker, of course. If the survivors rush it here, they could get that tank spawned before the next set of SI, but it looks like they're kind of taking their time. They don't want to eat too many more bad hits, like they have taken thus far through the map. And wow, that Boomer pre-spawn, I don't know what he's going to be able to get there. They're trying to wall it. They probably could. Oh, and the double charge going in, baited by the Boomer. The Spit's gonna go in on top of that, but the boom does push Lewis mostly out of the Spit. So not a huge amount other than that double charge off of that. But the survivors really need to think about what's gonna happen on this tank fight. They have such low health. Like, Kyo, there's no pills to make Kyo fast. That's just a quick in-cap by this tank, and this location they're gonna be fighting it in. They can always jump out of these windows and try to run back, depending on when the tank spawns. But here comes another quick hit. SI not going to let up. They don't want to wait for this tank spawn. Hunter pouncing in, going to get shut down. The Charger looking for something. He manages to stumble the Hunter off in the other room, but a 2-cap does land momentarily. And this tank is still not up. There it goes. Survivors haven't dropped down yet, so they can choose to make a retreat. But there's honestly not a whole lot left for them to retreat to. And it looks like the pause goes out from the infected team this time. Survivors still sitting in that room. Maybe they want to choose to fight it there, since the tank is not exactly going to have an easy time climbing up to their location. And we do have Nunes crashing again. He seems to like having these no Steam logons. Oh, and he's the tank apparently, so that's going to be interesting. I guess it'll just pass to someone else. I hope it doesn't go AI. But honestly, even with an AI tank here, that might actually be an advantage, because he can climb up in places where the players can't, and you know, you don't exactly want to be running into 4 SI plus this tank. But yeah, we'll have to wait for this pause to finish up. Oh man, I wish I'm stuck in spec, but I'm so far away from the survivors right now. I can't even like look at their positioning or anything like that. But yeah, Team Xception, it looks like in their first 2 rounds, they went up against Minerva and Save the Gnome. I know Save the Gnome. I'm not as familiar with Minerva, but I feel like we just saw a cast of them earlier today, or perhaps last night. So to give you some idea of what these 2 teams have been up against. And it looks like we have a ready from the survivors and the infected. The tank is back in, or Noons is anyway. The tank is going to be AI. No, it has switched to the dashed player. Oh, and we've got some in-game voice going on. But the tank is pushing in immediately right here, getting kind of ripped up by these Uzis. He does get a multi-punch right there. Smoker gonna get shut down. Tank still looking for these punches. They have gotten the pounce in the back. Tank down to just 1.3k HP. He's gonna miss that rock, and he is choosing to run away. Try to bait out Bill to getting closer to him. But wow, we might actually see a survival from the survivor team right here, Team Xception. Managing to juke this tank around a whole lot. And there goes the kill onto the tank. Zoe has been cleared as well. Wow, are they actually gonna recover from this? Oh no, but the jockey does take Bill into the back room. I don't think he's going to be able to get that clear through the wall. The bullets are just flying everywhere. And wow, that was so close. That tank went in and just wasn't getting enough punches to really secure the wipe as quickly as he needed to. So the survivors did kill him off, but the jockey finisher right there. What else can you expect? But this does give Latin Comas an opportunity to try to make up some points here. If they can make it to that tank with a good amount of health, you know, that is a survivable tank. If they can find some good places to go in this map, there's a lot of opportunities for the survivors to choose to go back to a more open area if they decide to do so with that tank spawn. You can jump out of the windows from that building, they could just run down the stairs, they could run forward like the other survivor team did. But we'll have to see if Latin Comas can meet the same performance. And Team Xception, time to see their opening hit again. It looks like they're going for a very similar setup thus far. The Boomer looking to spawn in the exact same spot that they popped last round. But who knows? Maybe he thinks he can boom faster than they can shut him down. Just waiting on dashes to ready up right here. Getting some LURP changes going on. Very important. Obviously. And there come the survivors up the ladder. This looks like the exact same opening hit. Like down to the spawns. I wonder if we'll see the hunter go in first too. Jockey actually looking to come from that closet. Even though it's closed. Is he even going to be able to spawn in there? He does manage to get the spawn. Boomer misses his spawn though. Hunter flying in, gets skeeted. Jockey still jumping around, managing to stuff Francis into a little bit of spit damage. Speaking of spit damage, oh my gosh. Mercenario getting stuck in that spit. Taking 45 free spit damage. That is quite unfortunate. And this Boomer, who did not get his spawn, is free now to go for a rocket boom. I imagine we'll see him go for one before too long, as we do have spawns up again. It is another 2-2 because of that death order. We have Hunter Charger. Of course, if this boom lands, oh wow, only a one boom, and the Charger gonna set himself on fire instead of hitting the survivors. And it does get taken down, but we do see a little bit more chip damage coming in from that pounce and Charger punch. But overall, Latin Comas, I'd have to say they're taking these opening hits a little bit more successfully than Team Xception right now. They have 3 survivors on very high permanent health, and I feel like by this point, there's a lot lower permanent health on Team Xception. And they just made it through another choke point without really getting contested. They're in a pretty open area to take this next hit, and it kind of looks like the SI went to spring it right here, so this could be very good for the survivors. Boomer missing his rocket, but he still manages to boom Francis. And the Hunter does get shut down, just a jockey spitter left, but that does get taken out quite handily by the frying pan of Bill. And Survivor's going to be rushing here. They might be able to rush this tank spawn as long as Francis keeps up his momentum in the front. I think he's dropping FPS or something. I see him like stutter midair every once in a while and just stand still for a second. We'll have to see. We do have a couple cappers up, Hunter Charger. And the Boomer as well, Jockey as well, 3-1. They could just hold this for the tank spawn. They go for the jump in, boom, managing to get a double off of it. Charger manages to get a cap in the corner, but cleared so quickly. Hunter and Jockey being taken down pretty quickly as well. So honestly, I might have wanted to wait for the tank spawn, which is now up into the hands of Vic. And it looks like he is rolling right in. Survivors, though, this is what we were talking about. Latin Comas jumps out of the window, heading backwards through the map, and the tank now is not in quite a very useful place.
Reloading.
He's going to find some shortcuts for himself, and the Survivors choosing to just hang out by the police car area. Pretty sort of standard spot for it, and the tank not really in a position to do a good rock tank here. He didn't have a climb up onto the back of the building, and so this looks like it looks like he's switching to do a rock tank right here. Taking 2k chip off of that position change, but they do get a double boom. Charger coming in for the intercept, a beautiful 2-cap, and this rock is going to land onto Bill. Oh my gosh, and the pull still going out. Zoe looking for the intercept, but a nice rock onto Zoe as well. Man, I mean, that position change seems like a lot of chip, but if you're going to be this effective with your new position, I guess it doesn't matter. And another rock onto Zoe. That's an in-cap. Going for the quick punch in-cap onto Francis. Great timing right there. They're going for the pickup really quickly onto Zoe, and they do get it up. Nice rock onto Bill, curving around the van. And the boom comes in. 2 boom on the last 2. He just needs to finish off Bill, and the others will fall very quickly, I'm sure. But the jukes from Bill, not letting any of these rocks hit him. The pounce does land right there. Bill flying off the van for the last cap, as the Hunter and Jockey have secured the other 2 standing. And wow, that is going to be the wipe. I have to say, I like the strategy from Latin Comas, but Team Xception just seems like they're realizing their potential here on some of these tank fights. And on Survivor, they managed to kill the tank in, I have to say, a less favorable position. And on their Infected, they managed to, they managed to really employ their SI well during that tank fight. Getting multi-booms, multi-caps, and so many tank rocks. And really just pulling it out there. So, once again, a very close scoring game. With the tank seeming to be a nigh unsurmountable obstacle for both teams. On their Survivor side, at least. But this map should be a pretty open one. The tank is kind of late. But perhaps we'll see a tank go down here. I mean, these open area tanks, there's not exactly a great number of rock throwing spots for them, so could see some commits to open areas and whatnot. We'll have to see. The Witch is also extremely late as well.
Reloading.
But you know, with some of the SI attacks we've been seeing these teams land, maybe you don't even need a tank to wipe. We do have, for this opening hit, what looks like a 2-2 setup again, with the Smoker and Hunter. And we are waiting for a very significant number of players to ready up here. Sort of killing off. There's so many commons. On this map especially, I feel like the common density is turned up or something. It feels like no matter where you go, there's so many more commons than you'd find on like just running through Dark Carnival 4 as fast as you could. But here comes the Survivors out, no baits, just pushing it straight out. A pull does land in the back, not getting cleared very quickly, but the Hunter taking his time to get in. Spit going in early, not going to land on anything. The Boomer does manage to get Boo and stumble Francis into spit damage right there. Oh my gosh, just that little stumble netted them like 20 more damage onto Francis. Really incredible. But the Survivors will be pushing through. As long as they can get through this next area, we shouldn't see a very strong hit until the choke point after this area. Not a lot of SI opt to attack around this airplane or anything. But yeah, look at all these commons just swarming the Survivors. Like if any SI came in right then, everyone would have to reload their guns. Oh, looking for the boom next to the airplane, not gonna land. Jockey coming in from the back though. And the Smoker looking to get a 2-cap with him, almost landing it, but Bill does get the kill off there just before getting pulled. So a pretty close to a shutdown right there from Team Xception. But again, having to wade through these massive amounts of horde, it's like they can't even progress forward. The horde is just so thick in that entrance. Francis even getting stopped up by them in the back a little bit. So SI will have another hit. I imagine they'll want to get some spawns set up on top of the survivors before committing this hit. Yeah, there they go, straight for the ridge, that boomer and charger.
Reloading.
I saw multiple attempts at that jump, but the boomer goes in for a nice barf bag. Charge gonna go in, manages to get one, Hunter gets one, and that's a tri-cap right there. Bill doing his best to clear the charger, but he can't do it in one clip. Oh my gosh, going to the single pistol to try to clear this. This is an insane amount of damage. Francis might just die right here. They do manage to kill off the Hunter. Suki is down as well. It's Kyo against huge amounts of horde. Suki does die. Francis is dead as well. There's just too much commons on top of that tri-cap. Wow, that was a hit, man, if I've ever seen one. Oh my gosh, and they might not even get Lewis up before this jockey can finish the job. There goes the cap. Lewis doing his best to kill it while his vision goes black. And that is the death. Oh my gosh, what a wipe right there. A quad boom into a tri-cap. A really well executed hit by Latin Comas there. On their infected side. Yeah, what a hit, man. I can't believe that. No melee weapons on this map either, so it's just absolutely devastating to be in that position. It's like, sometimes you gotta think, like, you want the charger to die first, right? Because it's the big thing, it's gonna do a lot of damage. But if you're alone and you're the only one shooting it, I mean, sometimes, unless you're hitting the right hitboxes, and if you're getting hit by commons especially, you might not have the damage to kill it off, and maybe he should have noticed that and gone for another capper. But man, I mean, regardless, even if he went for another capper, with their pings and all of that horde on him, I can't imagine he would have cleared off anything else very quickly either. I mean, given that his position was right next to the charger, so it looked like a pretty rough situation regardless. There's just, you know, maybe something else you could try to do there. So yeah, this 2-2 opener, once again, Latin Comas taking their time to get ready here. I mean, this is another good opportunity for them. I mean, it wasn't a take wipe, so it's probably pretty unlikely that they're going to wipe in the same spot. So we should see, I imagine, we'll see some distance being made up by the Latin Comas here, unless Team Xception can really pull out all the stops with their SI play and get some good caps in here.
There's a hunter around.
Baiting out the safe room ever so slowly. And Bill and Lewis just double teaming this bait right here. Boomer pre-spawns a little bit. The survivors don't exactly have an angle on it. Oh my gosh. This is the SIVO finals, folks. They're trying to get this wall onto the boomer, but he is juking it around. Some top-level plays from the boomer, dodging all these bullets. And there goes the pop, though. Very anticlimactic. Lewis just rushing out and getting it killed. A double cap landing for a little bit, and some spit is going to go on to Francis, who opts to rush out to the front. Doesn't take a lot of damage on it. Thank you, Godframes. So, pretty well handled opening hit from Latin Comas. And it is their turn to wade through the sea of commons that is Undead Zone Map 3. We do have a jockey getting his spawn up. I don't know, I'm kind of curious as to whether or not we'll see a hit in the same area. Oh, going for the boom right there, but it's gonna miss. And the survivors taking their time here to sort of clear out commons before pushing forward to that airplane. Probably a good idea. The spitter and jockey pre-spawning though with the hunter. Spit just goes in onto nothing. The jock does land for a moment, and the hunter pouncing around looking for something. Not going to be getting a whole lot with that attack. And that death order though, man, there's going to be another 2-2 attack after this. But, you know, it was... If they hit in the same area as we saw Team Xception wipe last map, a spit and a boom could be all they need. but it looks like the survivors are moving a little too quickly for that, as I don't quite have their spawns yet. We've just got 2 of them up. 3 now. And the survivors are moving out of that somewhat more dangerous area. Like, the SI can no longer spawn on top of them. A hit around the truck would make some sense, though. Spitter pre-spawning. Man, these boomers just not able to land. And a double cap does land right there. The spit not really helping out with it, though. And it looks like the spitter getting some scratches before he's finally killed off at the end of that attack. Let's see, this tank is at 66% though, so the survivors do still have a ways to go. It's probably going to be up in the next sort of open area with the tents and the guns and whatnot. But there's a couple choke points before then. SI are getting their spawns up, and I imagine we'll see a hit around this truck/bus area. The boomer is looking for a real cheeky close boom, and he does manage to get a double boom right there. Charger, Hunter, Smoker going in. The pull lands. The Charger gets wrecked, though. Absolutely mowed down by those Uzis. But a pretty good amount of pull and boom damage on the front going in. It looks like the survivors are going to have to spend some time clearing out this horde. Once again, with this density and those pings, really making that rough. So, I don't know, we might see the tank up before the next hit, depending on whether or not the SI want to, you know, try to jump in on the survivors in this open area, or if they want to just hold it for the tank. But Latin Coma is looking in a very good position now. They've already taken the lead back in this game. They're almost 100 points ahead, and here comes the hit. Charger getting a nice charge onto Francis while his back was turned, and the spit on top of that. Wow, a nice skeet onto the Hunter, though, from Sergio, preventing a lot of extra damage from going in onto Francis there. But a pretty solid hit nonetheless, managing to get one of the players into bleed range, and Mercenario having to pop his pills as well. And the tank is now up, going into the hands of Kyo. And I imagine he's just going to go to the side and look for some just basic rock tank locations. He is going for his first rock right here. Survivor's not really sitting close enough for him to ensure anything without a capper, I'd have to say. But oh wow, he is pushing up awfully close here. This no longer looks like a standard rock tank. And here comes the charge, looking for the Misty, not going to land. They did get a pull in the back, getting some charger punches as well. Wow, going to town onto Zoe. She is so low right now, and this tank looking for some low ground rocks up ahead. Oh, he's trying to push onto Bill. I mean, they're both high enough ping that if they're not careful, that punch could definitely land. I don't know, I have to wonder if I feel like the tank should be getting up onto some of these side areas to try to get rocks, but maybe he wants to keep the survivors close at hand and not give them any chance to start running past him for points. I mean, he can't just play this rock pretty long if he doesn't care about chip, and the next hit will be coming in here soon. Doesn't look like the cappers are going to have a good time getting close to the survivors, but the pounce and charge do land. Smoker's still having trouble finding something useful to do. Looks like he is going to get a pull on Zoe, which should at least take some pressure off of the tank, but the damage just keeps rolling in. This tank is 2k down, but I mean, at the level of chip he's been getting in on these survivors, the end is written on the walls. But the survivors, I think they see this and they've decided to push up. Try to get whatever distance they can, put the pressure on this tank. Boomer getting a crazy spawn right next to Zoe. Only getting the one boom off of it, almost getting a proxy right there at the end. And the tank has decided now's the time with that boom. Let's push this in. He's gotten an in-cap onto Bill at the front. And this is going to be the wipe right here, I have to say. Zoe probably going to get taken down by those Commons, honestly. Maybe not. I guess she took care of herself. But I'm sure the tank will have no problem. But that does give Latin Comas the lead there. Their wipe that they got against Team Xception, giving them the opportunity they needed to make up points. So a great map for them. And they are now in the lead by about 150 points going into map 4. 1021 to 874. Latin Comas look like they're ready to end their losing streak in the tournament and bring out the win against Team Xception. We'll have to see though, there's a lot of map left, and anything can happen on these. Let's see, a late tank once again at 75%. But this is a map with a lot of devastating choke points, especially early on in the map. So once again, we might not even see the tank from some of these teams. We'll have to see. Latin Comas playing Survivor first for the first time in this tournament match. The SI setup looks to be, is this a 3-1? I'm not seeing their last capper. It does look like a 3-1 to me. Hunter, Jockey, Charger, along with that Spitter. This seems like a pretty good hit to have in this opening area. You know, all these tight corridors, of course you're going to want to spit. And Smoker can be okay here as well, but it pretty much only gets used to set up a Charger or something like that. So, I mean, if you're going for the Tri-Cap and damage off of a Tri-Cap, this is the setup you want. So we'll have to see. I imagine there's going to be a pretty good amount of baiting on this opening hit, as there quite often is. This is not the kind of area you want to get suddenly surrounded by commons in. And we are finally going live here. Latin Comas going to bring up the Survivor here. Try to continue their lead in CCT3 round 3. This Jockey making some noise in the front. Oh man, it's not showing me the Jockey health. Hold on. Oof, wow, they did manage to get like 90 damage off of that Jockey. But the bait continues. Survivor's not ready to commit to this. Honestly, probably a good idea. The SI do look like they want to hit pretty early though. That Charger and Spitter sitting off to the side. I imagine they'll wait for the Survivors to sort of push towards the Hunter and try to spring it as they do that. Ooh, the Hunter making some noise though. They have to know where everything is now. They know where this hit's coming from for the most part. Maybe it'll give the Charger the cover he needs to get in unnoticed, but Zoe's slowly baiting this up, and Jockey trying to keep the automatic door open for himself. And the pause goes in right as the door opens for the Jockey, just in case they didn't feel safe enough just sitting there not moving in the safe room. You need to add the pause on top of it to make sure nothing bad happens. We do have the Infected running up, but it seems like it might be a moment before the Survivor team's ready. I don't know if somebody crashed or what, but it looks like they are choosing. Alright, there we go, finally they're ready. Lewis is ready to go, and now we have to restart the bait process, of course, as the Survivors went back into the safe room. However, Zoe is pushing out now, and it looks like this is going to go soon. Jockey getting back to his duty, holding the door for his friendly SI. Oh my gosh. This is a stalemate. This will last forever. Zoe really wants to get the kill on that Jockey. And here, oh man, it looked like they were going to commit, but the backpedal, neither team ready to commit to this hit. And oh, the door was open for the Hunter, so he could switch to the opposite side. I don't know about this though, now you got two SI stuck behind an automatic door. Oh my gosh, and they now have successfully baited the Charger into spawning. Jockey taking a bit more chip there, a little cheeky with his movements there, getting right up next to the safe room door. Oh my gosh, this is some next level baiting. I can't remember the last time I spent this long at an opening safe room. We'll have to see if it pays off for them. It's gonna be such karma if they just get demolished by this hit after all this baiting. So we'll have to see. Oh man. Finally, Zoe and Bill kind of moving out. Man, but there's still two Survivors in the safe room, right? That's just like a tell that they don't intend to leave anytime soon. And the jockey goes in for the cap. SI got tired of waiting. Charger gonna miss though, but they do have these nice 2 caps in the front with some stumbles, and the spit goes down on top of that for a pretty fair amount of damage onto Bill. It's kind of hard for me to say if that, I mean, if you'd consider that like a successful baiting. They did kill off the Charger really well and got a moderate amount of spit damage, but overall not a terrible hit, but so much time spent from the survivors there, just insane. And we do have a 3-1 setting up right now with the Boomer. Smoker, Jockey, Charger. It looks like the pull in the back, ready to go for something, but these 2 survivors in the back are just trained on that door, ready to pop whatever comes through. And here it comes, through the door, gonna get popped so quickly. Charger not getting a spawn, and the Jockey bouncing around, still not cleared. Oh my gosh, and he does land onto Lewis in the back, going around the corner. You know, at this point, I have to say they probably need to save the Charger for the choke point up ahead. Maybe that was their plan the whole time. But that major spit choke point is coming up ahead. And they are set up to have a spitter for it. I believe anyway, unless some magic spawn timer stuff happens. The Hunter going in early here though. He was pre-spawned. Gets shut down by Zoe's M2 though. They do have the pull, the charge, and the spit. All good SI to have on this choke point. But it doesn't look like they're ready to get set up on it yet. They're kind of sitting around in the back, looking for more. They get a pull right there that does get charged and spit on. A very good opportunistic play right there. If that turns into an end cap, they will probably still have time to set up on the choke down below, but it does not. Wow, that pill pop. Francis is going to be bleeding out for the remainder of this map. And the Jockey is pre-spawned below, but it looks like the survivors want to rush this. Probably a good decision. You know, the SI really gave up this choke point here, and the survivors notice this and will push through. We do have a 3-1 setup though, and this spot is not a bad one for a hit either. Of course, without the spit, it probably won't be quite as devastating. Jockey in the back, getting the separation so quickly. A triple boom as well, but the Hunter not able to stop these survivors from getting the clear onto the Jockey. The Hunter's still pouncing around for extra damage though. Oh my gosh. Someone needs to clear him, please. And he finally gets melee skeeted down. Okay. I suppose that's the best way to kill off a Hunter at that point. It's just with a melee skeet to the face after he's killed half of your teammates. Charge spit, getting ready here. And then we do have the Witch up ahead as well, probably a little off of the survivor's path. But if the SI choose to play on it, they could definitely get something. Boom, gonna miss right there, these booms from the front. Not working out for the infected team. And man, Team Xception, I mean, they are gonna run into a tank eventually. But they could be getting so much more if they just got some of these hits to do a bit more damage. Charger gonna get stumbling himself in the back on one of those walls. And there goes the Witch pull, managing to get the crown, but Francis gonna get jockeyed and spit in exchange for that. But the survivors should be clear now to start moving, and this tank at 75% is probably gonna be up past the elevator, so that is a lot more distance these survivors are gonna be getting. And they may even just opt to start running for points when the tank spawns too, and you know, sometimes that can be a difficult gatekeeper tank. I mean, it's... Oh, we do have a hit coming in from the back though. The pull does land, the Charger chooses to steal it. Nice pounce for a bit of an intercept there, and the Smoker gonna be getting some scratches onto Zoe right there at the end. Yeah, this is not shaping up to be a surviving round from Latin Comas. I'm probably pronouncing that horribly, I just realized. Like, it's probably not Comas, like the English word comas, but whatever. I'm an American English speaker, and I have my own limitations on how I can pronounce words. And the tank is now up into the hands of Suki. It looks like they lost a Charger in order to get that tank. Kind of unfortunate, and the survivors are going back to this sort of side area. I have to wonder about that though. I mean, it seems like they're just cutting themselves off from distance even more. Unless they're going to find some pills here. This does not look like a surviving tank fight, and a 2-cap does land. Spit being deployed as well on top of that pants. Zoe getting out of it pretty quickly though. And rocks are flying towards the survivors here. I wonder if this tank is going to try to stop the pickup. It looks like not. Just going to take the damage he sees off of Lewis. And he's looking for an infected ladder to get himself up, I guess. Man, I don't know. If I were the survivors, I'd be looking for some way to juke past this tank and start running for distance. But here comes the hit. Charge. Gonna land pounce as well for a 2-cap. Zoe in-capped in the front by the tank. And that pounce gets the in-cap there as well. It is just Francis. Sergio against the tank, and that is the wipe. Team Xception gonna be taking down 480 points, or taking down Latin Comas at 480 points. Oh man, it's gonna be tough for them to get more points than that to really start bringing this back. And honestly, I feel like one of the only chances they'll have for it is trying to run past that tank. But who knows, maybe they'll bring out their top tier survivor play here, start shutting down some spawns, and really make it through this map. So here we have the opening hit again. We'll see how much Team Xception is interested in baiting this one out. Just waiting on a couple players from each team. One player from each team to be specific, to finish readying up here. We'll go live on this. Let's see, how many points ahead were Team Latin Comas going into this? I mean, it was only like 200 or something, wasn't it? 250 or so. So, I mean, as long as they make it to finale, this match is not going to be over. But we'll have to see. Still waiting on Latin Comas. Yeah, they've been taking a lot of time in their ready-ups. Just a real patient team, it seems, all around. And ooh, Survivor's not looking to bait this at all, or just an amazingly aggressive bait. Wow. All of these doors getting taken down by the pre-spawned SI. Hunter taking down one, Jockey working on the other. But it looks like the SI managing to get out without any chip onto them. And Hunter choosing to spring out. I don't know about that. He leaves the room just so he can get another spawn. I guess he made it out without taking damage. So it worked out for him. Oh my gosh, this separation though. Bill gonna get charged way off to the side. Hunter looking to get the intercept. Jockey manages to get a cap in the other direction. And Hunter gonna try to get the intercept, but a nice skeet from Ryan onto that Hunter. Finishing off that that pounce before it could make the attack even more devastating. And of course they got the clear on Francis shortly after. So pretty similar opening hit, honestly, in terms of damage. It looks like Latin Comas did get a bit more, maybe 10 damage more, 20 damage. But still a pretty even showing from both teams. They will be pushing up here towards the next choke point. We do have a 3-1 here. Looks like a pretty good attack to use right now. Charger coming in from the back. Doesn't manage to get anything without getting shut down, but they do have the pounce and the pull landing briefly with a little bit of spit damage on top of it. With that death order though, I kind of wonder if if the SI are going to have the setup they want for the choke points that are coming up. I didn't quite see when the spitter died, but if they didn't take special care with their spawn timers, they might find themselves without the setup they want. We do have 3-1 with Boomer, so no spit right here. If the survivors just keep trucking it. Ooh, wow, and a nice Boomer pop from Suki. This Hunter's actually pre-spawned in the back, and Bill goes for it. I don't know if they saw him or heard him or what, but Bill just pushed right out there and got that Hunter taken down. And now it's just a Jockey Charger to play on this choke point. Survivors ready to just push through. And here comes some SI spawns. We do have the 3-1. The Spitter's not quite up yet, but they do have Smoker, Jockey, and Charger. Survivors need to clear out this horde quickly. Francis is getting so hoarded in front. And here comes the attack. right now. Charge gonna land onto Francis, but the spitter gets shut down early without being able to put the spit out, so that's just gonna be an in cap from the hit and a little bit of jockey damage onto Kyo as well. So wow, actually Team Xception looking in pretty fair standing right here. If they manage to shut down the next couple of hits equally well, they might actually have a chance to survive this tank fight. And Bill choosing to go the wrong way or take one of the alternate paths while his teammates all went up top. Oh, looks like the SI are plenty content to just play on this witch here. She's a little off to the side, but the hunter doing his part to help out the survivors, scratching that witch down. Just in case you miss, you know, the last 10 damage on your crown, like some people, like myself, so often do. It can be helpful to have some scratches. The pull going in. Wow, the witch gets triggered off of that. Ryan missing the crown. The pounce landing as well onto Bill for a bit of damage, and that witch, ooh, getting shut down before she can get the kill, but it looks like that boomer is going to be getting a proxy onto Zoe, whether the survivors like it or not. So yeah, wow. That was, and Ryan had a pretty huge amount of permanent health before that hit as well. I think he was one of the players up at around 80 health, if not more. And that is all gone. So suddenly their great standing went to a very moderate standing going into the rest of this map. They still have two players who are not bleeding, but I imagine we'll see one more hit here even before the elevator. And here it comes from the back. We've got a pull, managing to land. Pounce for the intercept. Really nice tri-cap right there. And the spit on top of it all. Wow, what a hit. I can't believe that was such a tight tri-cap. And the spit just perfectly landed all over the top of it. A really great hit from Latin Comas. And the survivors will now be slowly but surely making their way up this elevator to face the tank, which will almost surely be their death.
This is some real bullshit right here.
And this tank did spawn up pretty much instantly. I imagine we'll see Team Xception go for some distance. I wonder if they can make up the 200 points of distance that they need to take the win. Francis going out to pop the boomer. Very nice job. The charge does land, but gets cleared before he can finish charging, I think. I don't think that rock landed right there. The rest of the SI getting shut down pretty well, though, but the survivors choosing to go back. Not going to be running for points here. I guess that's just a well-mannered game, you know? Gonna take the tank in the standard spot, not just run for points. Not that that's really considered BM in a tournament match, but you know, it's a bit of a courtesy, I guess. But man, it's got to be the wipe here. Mercenario probably gonna have one of the easier tanks of his life. Charger getting a punch onto Lewis in the back, and he's still alive there, hiding in the corner. Bill is a little separated. He's gonna need to skeet this hunter. And a pull does land. Charger looking for the intercept. They almost had the finishing 3-cap without the tank right there. But in the meantime, Bill is probably going to die in the back there with the last set of pills. Oh, but Ryan does sneak through with the tank directly on his tail. Getting pickups in the front, though. They could certainly run this tank around for a good amount of time. But the tank is pushing in on these two slow survivors. I don't think 3.5k health is going to disappear from him fast enough. And Francis, though, choosing not to give up. He's heading back for his other teammates, even as this jockey closes in on him. Oh, getting some of the M2s there, but the tank is there to finish the job. And they did manage to get 3 more points, though. Oh, but of course they failed to get the Witch Crown, so the map is overall a loss for them. But still, only about 200 points difference going into the final map of Undead Zone here. 15-21 for Team Latin Comas against 13-57 for Team Xception. And that is... I mean, I don't imagine this opening tank is going to lead to a wipe for either team. Like, this tank is, it's just too open. I mean, I guess if they're landing as high and getting rocks, any of these tanks could be a wipe. But as long as they manage to get past that opening tank, I think it's a definite possibility for Team Xception to make up some points there. And who knows, maybe they could be the ones getting the opening tank wipe. But yeah, this will be the final map. Latin Comas taking Survivor first. This opening hit looking to be... it's so hard to tell without the spec HUD showing up over ready up. But it looks like a 2-2 hit. We've got a Spitter and a Boomer sitting in the safe room. Jockey Hunter coming out as well. Maybe not the best setup for this opening hit, but at least the cappers are mobile enough that they'll probably be able to land on someone. You can always put Spit on top of that. Jockey's running around looking for some ways to get close to the survivors. I just saw him try to jump this gap, this really long crevice, trying to get over onto the sort of opposite wall from the survivors' safe room. And of course it was way too long of a gap to take. So yeah, this finale area, there's really only one place to get spawns as SI on these cliffs. And the round is going live, so we're gonna see the pause come out immediately. Ah, wow. I feel like I'm playing Brawl and I just tripped over nothing. But the pause bait is real, and it looks like the ready up is going out. Just one more pause, one more bait tactic to have in your repertoire. The pause bait. Latin Comas ready to bait this as well, but it looks like no, they're coming out here really quick. No bait this time. Boomer gonna land onto one. These survivors are split up like crazy, but Hunter and Jockey not quite getting their caps. Hunter does get shut down, or Jockey gets shut down, and the Hunter getting M2 to bit. Some spit damage onto Lewis as well as a little bit of pounce damage. But overall, the survivors make it out of there pretty handily. Where is this witch at? Oh, there she is. She's kind of hiding behind the Jeep. Are they even going to be able to pull her very easily? Maybe they'll just leave her for later. That's such an interesting spot. And the generator is being hit over. Kind of in a not so great spot for that tank. But he is choosing to play with it a bit more. Now it's even further away from where he wants to be. Bug. Who's stuck? Oh no, they can get out of there if they just know what they're doing. There they go. They managed to get out. Survivor's not as stuck as they thought they were, but yeah, if an SI attack came in right then, or a tank rock, they'd be in a pretty tough spot. And it looks like just a 2-1 here. This Boomer trying to kill himself off the map, but I don't think it's working. Oh my gosh. He's gonna be stuck down there for a while. Tank is on second pass already though. Wow, all of that playing with the generator didn't amount to anything, it looks like. And he did manage to get the despawn with the boom. Oh man, this is gonna be such a tight spot. I mean, this Boomer is not really the SI you want to see right here, and he can't even get close to these survivors with a spawn. Charger and Boomer are spawning off though. It looks like they're probably gonna go for it. Oh my gosh, are they going for the commit right here? Yeah, it's second pass. Kind of have to. The Boomer is going to get popped. The Charger's still looking for something. Jockey looking as well. Charger does get taken down, and now the tank is pretty much alone up against 4 survivors with plenty of Uzis to boot. He does get the 1 in cap, but that's probably going to be about it. Wow, 1 more punch onto Zoe. But that is about it. 1 in cap and 1 more punch on top of that. And you know, honestly, a lot of times that's about as much as that tank gets. I mean, even if your SI are a little bit more successful, often the tanks can just get juked around so much in that area that even when you go for the final commit, there's not much left for you. Here's the witch pull. Lewis, that is Sergio, managing to get the crown very handily, and a nice quad boom coming out right there. We do have a charge spit that might be ready to go, but the spitter not quite getting his spawn in time. So that attack was again handled quite handily. So Latin Comas looking really strong, finally showing on some of these later maps that they are definitely handling the infected, handling these tank fights very well. And honestly, we could see them survive this finale if they can shut down the next tank as well as they did on that one.
I'm guessing my team is dead.
Lewis outside tangoing with a jockey though, while his teammates start the event on the indoors. This is 2-2 setup. These SI coming in almost one at a time, but a nice separation spit attempt right there, but quick thinking from Zoe going out to bridge the distance between her and Francis, getting that cleared off. And I don't know if the event is started quite yet, but it will be started very soon. Alright, and we'll see where the survivors decide to take this. I imagine they'd take it in one of the more common spots, but it looks like I think they're going to take it. Okay, we have a hit coming in though. Pull going to land, Pounce getting shut down. This transitional area that the survivors are in, I can't imagine this is where they want to stay. But the SI are just sort of coming in one at a time. There's a boom, onto one. The survivors just slowly inching their way towards what I can only imagine to be, they want to use one of these more open areas outside. I have seen some teams try to take things here. I remember seeing Bedtime try to fight outside on this finale, but a nice 2-cap landing right there with some spit onto Francis. That's a lot of damage ticking onto him, mostly from just walking out of spit. Really sort of an interesting position here. But, I mean, I guess the SI have to jump in from fairly far away to get on top of them. I don't know, they had the cliff right on top of them. But now the survivors are choosing to move. Probably going to move to the pill spawns and get some of those and get ready for this tank fight. Hunter looking for the DP from up top. He's trying to hit the ceiling and go for a ceiling pounce, but I don't think he's going to find it. Here comes the pounce. Oh, gonna miss. Charger gonna miss as well, getting some stumbles. And a low ground pounce. Oh, the tank spawning right inside with the survivors. What is he going to do? Is he going to try to cut him off from these pills? Oh my gosh, he's all alone here though. He does manage to get a punch onto Francis. Gonna get the second punch before he can take pills. That's an in-cap. And now it's a tank with 4.8k HP up against 3 survivors. Spawns are going to be coming up in a few seconds, but it's going to take some time. Tank's still managing to find a couple of punches here. And there's a pull for separation. Gets cleared super quickly though. Managing to land one onto Lewis. Gonna take him down. Hunter, Jockey flying around, trying to get these caps here. But the Jockey is taken down. Hunter and Jockey both taken down by dashes. As Zoe right there. And the pull, gonna pull the last survivor right as the tank dies. Can these in-cap survivors finish off that pull? Or is that gonna be the wipe from Team Xception? Oh my gosh, the smoker is so low. This has to get cleared, right? Oh, and it does, with just 20 health left on Zoe. And pilling up super quick right there. Wow, that was so close to the wipe. What an awkward tank spawn they had to deal with for both teams. And Pounce coming in with the spit, trying to just get some extra quick damage. Jockey not really finding anything here, trying to just troll the survivors a little bit. Getting a little bit of chip damage onto Lewis, but the survivors are so low. The last set of pills is on Francis right now, who is in-capped. Oh, but he does get up, and he is going to take those pills. Meanwhile, the rest of his teammates, I imagine, will be getting in-capped super quickly. He is managing to take all the Commons' attention thus far. But wow, Lewis. Did he just get FF killed there? I couldn't see. Wow. What a bad way to go. With a little bit of FF. And Bill is just on the edge as well. That Charger, I can see him in spawn. He's just staring at him, thinking all I have to do is stumble this fool, and he'll go down. Hunter, oh, almost had the scratch. Charger does get the scratch onto Bill to take him down. Pounce looking for something to land on. Spit managing to get some damage, and the Pounce stealing from the Jockey inside this spit. I don't know about that. Wow, that was so close to the wipe right there. The survivor's only getting pretty minimal amounts of distance though, so there's not a super big rush yet. Ooh, trying to delay the pickup there. But man, they've already killed off the tank. Before too long, there goes the big distance jump, and ooh, the distance is going to start racking up here as the survivors head for the final escape. Stopping that pickup with the smoker right there. Spit probably going to delay it as well. And the Hunter looking for some quick damage right here. Gets a few ticks onto Bill, but not worth a huge amount. And it looks like the survivors have decided not to save Francis. Probably a good idea. They can get a lot more distance points just by finishing up the map here, getting some survivors inside. And wow, that's actually going to be a pretty well-scoring map for them. And there goes, there's the escape. Ooh, wow. That's a pretty tall order for Team Xception to compete with at this point. A really nice escape from Noons and Dashes. Putting their final score for their survivor play at least at 22-22. Oh no wait, 22-42 after that witch bonus gets included in there. So wow, yeah. Team Xception is going to basically have to survive this map to match that. They need those extra 200 distance points, and then on top of that they're going to need some health bonus. But we'll have to see. Anything is possible here. They can definitely, I mean, they really need to shut down that opening tank as well as Team Latin Comas did, but as long as they do that, the rest is possible for them. They can play the event smart, they can shut down that second tank, and they only need about 100 health bonus in order to take this match win. And 100 health bonus is not much. If you have 4 survivors up, 100 health bonus is like, even if you're all 1 in cap and bleeding, you just need everybody at like 30 health or something. Maybe that's an overestimation. You probably need a bit more than that, but it's still certainly doable. A little bit of permanent health goes a long way when it comes to health bonus. And we are going live now for this final round of the match. We'll see what Team Xception can do. Oh, boom! Getting a nice spawn, getting only a 1 boom though, and the survivors perfectly ready to go back into that safe room, baiting out the rest of the SI. The Spitter running out in front, scratching away at the air, trying to find something good to do. And here comes the survivors out of the safe room. SI out of position for this. The jockey kind of feeling stuck behind the safe room, it looks like. And that looks like they're going to wait for their last capper. They do have a charger. If they can find some good spawns for him, this could be a much more devastating hit. And here comes the Pounce coming in, getting some distraction for the Pounce. Oh, but the charge barely misses as the Spit goes down and gets a few ticks onto Bill. And the pause is, of course, coming in. What would this map be without another really good post-safe room pause? Yeah, I suppose the pause bait was late, but maybe they need to strat this up. They have readied up again, the same team that paused, so it looks like we are going live here. Survivor team not going to pull this witch, and Sergio going to go with the tank right here. Survivor's sitting up close, looking to get some chip on him, and honestly, it's probably going to work. Tank is climbing up really close to the survivors, only getting about 350 chip in onto him, and ooh, that boom is going to miss in the back from Mercenaria. Survivors looking like they're in some pretty solid positions to take this tank fight. Rocks are flying in now. Survivors doing a good job dodging so far. This boomer up in the front, finally going into sack. Francis choosing not to kill it. Are they just delaying this boomer to like force the tank to spend more time without SI spawns? Wow, I think that's what that was. I mean, Francis had plenty of opportunity to kill it. Oof. They're pulling out all the stops here. They are going to give no advantages to the infected team, man. This is their last chance in this match from Team Xception. And they're going to do everything they can to stay in it. This tank down to 15% rage on his first pass. Imagine this is going to be second pass almost instantly. Survivor's giving him a little bit of extra sight, but as long as they don't take these rocks. There we go, on to second pass right now. And we do have a 3 cap. This tank may just roll in before too long. This is not a terrible set of cappers. A smoker might be nice. And of course, if you could get a good boom, that would be great. But, you know, charge your jockey hunter. Not bad. All moderately mobile. And here comes the Hunter, getting the distraction. Tank trying to get the separation there. Nice 2-cap lands momentarily, but the Hunter was cleared very quickly. They need to clear off this Charger, though, and the Jockey. And it looks like they're going to be trading this 1 in cap for the rest of that SI. And oh my gosh, that tank is so close to these survivors. Is Francis going to get rocked? No, the rock barely misses Bill. Bill almost getting himself stuck again inside that railing, but the tank is taken down. So actually, I mean, a pretty good take. If they'd taken a little bit less SI damage off of that, that would have been a better take than Team Latin Comas. But as it stands, Team Latin Comas, I mean, they took like, I want to say 30 less damage or so during their tank fight. But, you know, anything could happen. Oh, nice quick draw crown in the front from Fix. And that boom getting completely baited out there. I wonder if they'll leave this one alive too. Probably not. There goes the kill. And the rest of this 2-2 hit is coming in. Charger, ooh, almost getting a nice angle onto Francis, but nice shutdowns. Wow, Team Xception are really doing well to clear off some of these SI hits. And here comes the start of the event, or at least the start of the voice acting, which is of course the precursor to the event. We will see SI up before too long, probably before they finish starting this event. Man, that dialogue takes so long. Or I suppose it's a bit more of a monologue. But here comes the 3-1 hit. Boomer going in first. Ooh, almost missing that boom. Bill kind of walking into it. Pull happening in the back while the Charger misses up front. Clearing off the pull pretty quickly, but this Charger is going to get some punches. So another 30 or so damage coming in off of that hit. And Survivors, I wonder if we'll see them move or if they're going to try to take the event in sort of the same area. It looks like Francis is moving, but the two in the back having a lot of trouble getting moving right here. But hopefully they can rush it through and not get caught up before the SI gets spawns on them. Mercenario does have his spawn, but he's just a spitter, and here comes the 2-2 setup with Smoker and Hunter. Nice 2-boom in the back. Pounce coming in. If they can lane this 2-cap, this could be a huge amount of hitmanning, but no, the Pounce goes on to Zoe, and the hit gets shut down pretty quickly. Still, the damage just keeps rolling in, but it's nothing too devastating yet. They can still survive this tank fight, and I would definitely not count them out of this match yet. Yeah, they're all sitting on pills. There's only one survivor bleeding at this point. Fix is probably going to have to pill up during this tank fight, but for now, there's not a lot of bleed going out, and the tank should be spawning before too long. Maybe one more SI hit if they can really rush it. But it's another 2-2. You know, these spawns are not really going down in orders to give the 3-1s for Team Latin Comas. And they really need to be careful, otherwise they're going to be giving away their win here. The lead that they have. Oh man, the Horde is just barely trickling in. This is so interesting. The SI taking forever to go for this attack. Jockey managing to grab Suki in the front. I imagine it'll get cleared. Hunter getting stopped on a light post as he turns into the tank. And a pretty fair amount of spit damage managing to land on Fix. This tank is now spawned up, and he went in immediately for the punch. Mercenario might just push in with this massive boom that they've got going on, but it looks like he's going to pull back and do some rocks. They do have a fair amount of bleed now. Tank is now finally pushing in. Suki's back turned to this tank. Gonna get in-capped so quickly. No chance to pop her pills. And oh my gosh, they are finally clearing out the Horde, but this pull is gonna land, and no one's in a position to clear that. Bill, oh my gosh, the juke past this tank right here. It's exactly what they need, some moves like that. Managing to get their 3 survivors together again. Gonna eat a rock right there, but as long as they shut down this SI, this tank's only at 1.8k HP. And he's going to be going down so quickly. Pushing into the room, they might even be able to get Suki up. This is going to be a rock that I can't imagine is going to get anything. The jockey is trying to troll in a little bit here. Going for the rock. Tank still alive with 720 HP. The boom does land onto Bill. Oh my gosh, this is such a close game for both teams. If they want to keep this tank alive and keep doing as many rocks as they can, keep getting as much bleed, as much as high hits as they can. That Charger only getting 1 punch though, and this tank is on second pass. He still has a fair amount of rage, but as soon as he shows himself in any sort of a big way, it's going to be over for him. This Commons doing a fair amount of damage onto Bill. I think Survivors, probably a good choice. They're just going to leave that tank in there, let him LOS himself, and come in as AI. But, you know, the rescue vehicle's not going to be here that quick. These survivors still have to wait it out. Oh, this is some tricky positioning. The SI are going to have four. There's going to be 4 SI plus this AI tank. Smoker taken out quite quickly. Tank does go down. And the boom lands onto the one as the last 2 cappers sort of head in here. All the horde funneling onto Bill. There goes the jockey and the hunter. Going to be taken out quite quickly as well. And the health bonus is sitting at 264 right now. This is what they need. That's plenty. I mean, they need less than 100, I think it was. I think they needed like 92 or something. And I apparently just said you. They needed like 92 health bonus to win this, and they're sitting at 244 right now. They just need to clear out 1 to 2 more waves of horde. They're sitting so split up, it makes me so nervous for them watching this, man. They can totally pull it out and win this. Latin Comas have got to be looking to finish up, get some end caps. They either need to get some really heavy end caps or they need to work down this health bonus on this next hit. Nice double boom. Pull goes in. Jockey getting M2'd though, and the pull is already shut down. As long as Lewis keeps his health bonus here though, this is not going to change a thing. They can just get that pickup after they kill off this horde. Ooh, that smoker is still standing up though, waiting for his opportunity to strike once again. But the survivors sitting really tight. There's not going to be a whole lot here. That smoker's just going to get chipped down. He does have his tongue again, but they did get the pickup, and this rescue vehicle is going to be here in a very short amount of time.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
Oh my gosh. Boom going in. Wow, missing the rocket, unfortunately getting stuck on that little pipe. Charger gonna stumble. Hunter gets a little bit of a pounce on the health bonus, but they're still sitting at over 100 right here. They're sitting at 112. I believe this is all they need. Oh my gosh, are they gonna win this match by the skin of their teeth? They're bleeding out still though. Oh, they can't take any common damage here. Oh my gosh. Bill needs to get in, and they get in with 104 health bonus. What? Did they? This is it, right? They made it. I'm pretty sure this is the win. It's still waiting for it to count up, but I think they just won by like less than 20 points. No. They didn't bleed out that much. Or did they? It gave them 96. What? But they still won. They still won by 40 points, guys. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that. Team Xception getting such a tight clutch win against Team Latin Comas. What an insanely close game. And I feel like it took until the finale, but we saw some excellent play from both teams going in on that finale. Really brought out their survivor play. We're getting shut down, skeets all over the place. And wow, what a close match. So congratulations to Team Xception for taking out that close win. And commiserations to Latin Coma, who have had a tough time in this tournament going against some strong opponents, and this round was no exception, as they were taken down by Team Xception. So yeah, that is it, and that is probably one of the last games we'll be seeing for this round of CCT3. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the cast. I had a lot of fun watching that game, and thanks to XSpy for streaming it. But yeah, congrats again to Team Xception with Suki, Ryan, Fix, and Kyo in that match. They're going to be moving on to the next round. So alright everybody, thanks for tuning in, and I think that's about it from us. So I'll see you guys next time.